We all woke up pretty early in the morning because we wanted to catch the tide pools at Ruby Beach. This will be our quick breakfast this morning. A banana, fig bars, and Pocky.
Somebody's used to some size.
I don't want to bump you.
My size queen. My size queen.
It is freezing this morning and I forgot my glasses. So I'm kind of going in blind. This is Ruby Beach, just 10 minutes away from our campsite. So we're actually here this morning because we want to see the low tide. Running to catch up to them. I lost sight of them. Oh, there they are. The tide had already gone out and you could easily see how different the landscapes looked. Pools of water had formed between the rocks and you could tell there was something to explore even if you didn't see everything right away. These giant rock formations have been shaped by waves over thousands of years, and during low tide, you can actually walk much closer to them. The beach is also covered in driftwood. Everywhere you look, there are huge logs scattered across the shore. Some of them are entire tree trunks that have been carried down from rivers or pushed in by storms over time. This actually looks very much man-made. Wow, look at this view! Fun fact, despite the name, Ruby Beach doesn't actually have rubies. The name comes from tiny reddish minerals in the sand that can sometimes give it a slight red tint. So this is called the Gorilla Rock. Oh my god, my hands are like shaking because it's so cold. I was gonna bring my sandals so I could dip my feet in the water, but it's too cold for that. Look how small Kathy is. She just said that she found something, so I'm just like on my way there. I'm coming. I came running. Starfish. Is it dead?
I don't know. I don't want to disturb it.
It's not moving. Maybe it got crushed by the rock. Should we remove that rock from it?
I think it might have been caught in low tide.
Poor guy. I found a blue rock that I think I'm gonna keep as a memory. Oh, they're all little mussels. All of this. It kind of looks really gross. Millions of mussels and barnacles stuck onto this rock.
Moist mussels.
Onwards! Aye aye, Captain! SpongeBob SquarePants! Towards the end, when we were looking a little closer into the tide pools, that's when we found everything. There were sea stars clinging onto the rocks, mussels packed together, tiny snails moving around, and then these squishy little bobs that looked kind of questionable at first, but they're actually sea anemones. When they're out of the water, they shrink up like shriveled little balls, but once the tide comes back in, they open up into soft flower-like shapes with tentacles that move with the water.
Anemones look like in the water.
Are those the things on the rocks? And then all these like little like hairy things come out? What are those?
I think these are anemones, the same as those ones, except they're pink on the inside. So
Yeah.
when they're underwater, I think they probably open up to be pink.
Very gooey. Very unique. Very unique. I accidentally touched this when I was going over. And it was very gooey. Oh my god, it's a snail. Look! Look what I found! On the sand! What is that? I just thought in case you guys got lost, you could always find your way. It's actually crazy how much life is hidden in these small pools, like a whole mini ecosystem just sitting there, easy to miss if you don't take the time to look. It kind of feels like discovering a hidden world right at the end.
Now, where are you gonna put that? Just by the door.
Like and subscribe! When we got back, we made lunch. We had Korean rib soup, and it was kind of disappointing. There was definitely more bone than meat compared to what we had the night before.
Feel that? Okay. Let me take a taste tester. Oh, you doubled up on the cookie.
No, it just
That's
was.
great.
It was stuck together.
Alexa and I quickly packed up while Kathy took her time as usual, but once it started raining, that definitely added some urgency and got her moving. It's raining so much. They said light rain, drizzle. This is not drizzle.
All right, Kathy. When you're ready, there's a.
You good? What's wrong?
No, put her face down. Okay, it's looking good. Well done. Off we go. So, the next destination that we go to is SOL DUC. Do we want to stop off at the store?
For what?
Or possibly more snacks and foods,
I think we'll be good because we do have the other two snacks we didn't open.
which is what?
The honey butter and the honey rice cake.
Those are not for us. They're for each individual person.
Okay, all right.
I think we're good. I think we'll be perfectly good. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Like, you were right, Susie. The rain did get heavier. That's so good.
Sure you want to hike in this weather? So right now we are driving to SOL DUC. We're gonna go there, hike, and then go to the hot spring at the resort, and then set up camp again. Once we made it to SOL DUC area inside Olympic National Park, which is one of those rare places where rainforests, mountains, and waterfalls all collide in the same landscape. The name SOL DUC comes from a Quileute word meaning sparkling waters, which makes sense the moment you see how everything here is constantly flowing and alive. This is our campsite. So they're not having a kicking contest, they're just kicking the rocks away to set up camp. I know, looks funny, right? This whole area is famous for its geothermal springs, dense old growth forest, and some of the most iconic waterfall hikes on the peninsula. I noticed a significant change in the temperature at SOL DUC, and I think it's because we're actually higher up. Are you actually going to blow the whole thing, Kathy, by yourself?
Restaurant, that's SOL DUC right there.
So this is a resort, so you can find restaurants, gift shops, as well as the hot springs. We also went back into civilization for lunch, and we were all very happy about that. Hot food inside a restaurant just hits differently. Kathy got this
Like, it's
one,
all on
the
the
first
uphill.
one for $9 USD.
I'll have to ask people if there's
Got the SOL DUC burger, Kathy and I. Same thing, and then what did you end up getting?
I got the BLT on multigrain
Egg clam chowder, right?
and clam chowder.
And it was so good that Kathy basically had a food orgasm from the first bite.
It's a spot. Is there any truth to like eating too fast gives you indigestion?
I think so.
Go back there, boy.
So it is freezing up here. I think it's because we're higher in altitude. I am so cold. I can't stop shaking. I even took out these gloves I got from the marathon running, but honestly, it's not warm enough. I'm freezing, like my hands can't stop shaking. Hopefully tonight, I'm told that it's gonna be really cold when we camp out. So I'm gonna make sure to really layer up everything I have.
They're sealed.
Ooh. So now that we're done lunch, we're actually going to go on a hike in the rain. It's called the Lover's Trail, and if everything's good, we might do the Canyon Creek. So right now, the weather's not looking too good. I do not have waterproof pants or shoes. In fact, I just changed my socks because it got wet from the beach.
Socks got wet at the beach?
Yeah. Cougar alert. I see one right here, right in front of me. That's right, I'm looking at you.
Right, we're here. Okay, and then the thought was we could do some of this to get to Canyon Creek, or not, depending how we feel about the trail. Okay.
Now we're starting on the Lover's Lane Trail, and this one feels like a hidden gem compared to the more popular routes. Ooh, where does it end? As you can see, I am all layered up. I have like 5 layers of clothes on because it's just so cold right now. I don't even care about how I look. I just want to be warm.
Vancouver Marathon gloves.
The trail winds through a thick rainforest canopy with massive moss-covered trees that make everything feel quiet and enclosed in the best way. What's nice about this trail is how peaceful it is. You don't get huge crowds, so it almost feels like you're walking through a secret part of the forest. Every turn feels like it could lead to something new, whether it's a creek crossing or just light breaking through the trees. As you keep going, Lover's Lane also connects you deeper into SOL DUC's valley system, so you really start to feel how everything in this area is interconnected. This is what I typically do. After filming, I run to catch up to my friends. This path is, I think, pretty well maintained. I would say it's really easy to trip on these rocks or tree roots, so it's best to pay attention to where you're walking. Oh, could you hug it again? Yeah. It's huge. There's something unusual about how the mushroom grows around the trees.
But it almost looks like they've been like inoculated
It's true.
based off of some kind of like,
Something in the log.
like dry wood versus dark, maybe damp.
Yeah.
moist wood. If you know, comments in the comment.
We're coming close to the emergency cabin, so this means that we're very close to the falls. So I believe the emergency cabin is when something happens and you need shelter, like you can use that as a place to take cover. Do you think they have a washroom in there?
No.
The sound of rushing water becomes more constant, and you can tell you're getting closer to the main attraction just by how the air changes. Cooler, wetter, and louder. Is this the final waterfall? No? Wow! That looks kind of scary. Hello! There's a lot of moss. So is this also like a rainforest?
It might, yeah. Well, guys, this is it.
The waterfall?
That's right.
No.
How are you feeling so far, Kathy? Easy?
This is easy. I can't lie though. I'm beat.
And there is Alexa all the way there. She's always ahead of us. Look at the conditions after walking. Ugh. My hiking boots are not waterproof, so they will get wet for sure. So to watch out for puddles. Eventually, we reach SOL DUC's fall, and this is honestly the highlight of the whole area. The waterfall splits into multiple streams as it drops through a narrow canyon, which makes it even more unique than your typical single drop falls. Standing on the bridge above it, you can feel the mist rising and hear the full force of the water echoing through the gorge. It's one of those places where you just stop and take it all in. That's the muddy bridge I was on, and more waterfall. I don't know why, but it's very like magical. It's hard to see it on camera. Actually, you can't even see it, but something about the air here because of the waterfall is like very misty. From there, we also went to Canyon Creek, and the landscape just starts to feel a bit more rugged and wild. The creek cuts through the forest with fast-moving water, and the trail follows alongside in the sections where everything feels a little bit more raw and untouched. It's less polished in the waterfall viewpoint, but that's what makes it interesting. You're seeing the forest in its natural, unfiltered state. The deeper you go into Canyon Creek, the more it feels like you're completely removed from everything else. The sound of the water becomes your main guide, and the tree closes in just enough to feel immersive without being overwhelmed. It's the kind of place where you lose track of time, you just keep walking and taking it all in. Kathy thought that this plant was really weird, so I wanted to just take a video of it.
When I go hiking, I basically do some trail running. As you can see, I'm running to catch up to my friends.
This is a very, very odd bridge. Doesn't feel safe at all. Okay, I'm going to attempt to climb it. Look at the view. You can hear. That's where I was filming.
Why haven't I done it this way? It gets all three of us.
Oh. Yeah, that's a great option.
So we just finished our hike. We went all the way to Canyon Creek. And now we're just headed back to the resort to go to the hot spring.
Perfect. Well, welcome in. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Building the resort.
It's your entourage.
Susie. Susie's sister. Susie's aunt. Susie's other sister.
Sounds about right.
That's probably me and Kathy.
The SOL DUC Hot Spring Resorts has a long history that begins with the indigenous people of the area who used the mineral springs for healing and spiritual purposes. This is the only shampoo they have, and it's like $225 USD before tax. Pricey. In the late 1800s, settlers, white people, discovered the springs and turned them into a small health retreat, believing in the therapeutic benefits. By the early 1900s, the site grew into a major destination after businessman Michael Earls built a large resort that attracted visitors from across North America. However, a fire in 1916 destroyed much of the original hotel, and it was never rebuilt to that scale. Over time, especially after the creation of Olympic National Park, it evolved into a more rustic, nature-focused resort we see today. Where's your feet, Kathy? Join the club of long legs.
Subscribe to our Patreon for more behind the scenes.
What do you say?
Join our Patreon for more behind the scenes foot action.
We brought our water here so we don't die of thirst. It's raining quite a bit and my camera's getting wet. The water smells like sulfur eggs. Yeah, like rotten eggs.
Don't tell me that yet.
Don't they?
I'm reading.
Pretty much
Oh, it's changing. This thing too?
Actually, hers is
Not
fine.
this thing. Well.
Why is yours fine but not mine not?
Oh wow!
We both
Why
have the same
isn't?
one.
Wait, this is our forever bracelet.
Correct.
That's so weird. Yo, let's get a $5 refund.
Oxidizing, tarnishing.
But now it's black.
Yeah.
Wait, the
Whereas,
rest were silver too?
no, these are gold.
Oh, they were both gold.
Mine's changing.
Oh no!
Mine's changing.
Oh, it's getting darker.
All right, you better blacken yours so that we match.
It's gonna go completely black.
Hold them up proudly. Oh, what are these? These are my legs. Wow, these are my half marathon legs.
Oh. We're now going to go in the cold water. So cold. How could Kathy just...
I don't feel like I need this the third time.
I just wanted to get the mountain. That's why I was like, let's go, let's go. The hot springs were nice, but not the cleanest. I do wish I had known ahead of time that they don't actually provide basic amenities, so no soap, no shampoo, conditioner, towels, or even a hairdryer. My hair felt so rough afterwards, and my skin smells strongly of sulfur. Smoke coming up. What? The mountain? I can kind of see like something. Oh, need to drink some water.
Like as an after kind of thing.
Change colors to purple-ish. Slightly bluish, right? Is it getting better though? I don't know. It does feel like it's stopped now. What do you mean you don't know where I think it's inside of my bag. But I'm just a little lazy. Spectator. Are you something? Yes.
That salmon looks big. Mashed potatoes?
No, this is risotto.
It is so cold. My whole body's like shaking uncontrollably.
You wish you could have some AC.
Since I couldn't dry my hair, I was freezing by the time we left the restaurant and got back to the car. I've been told that it might actually snow tonight, so I'm definitely layering up. We just came back and it's raining a lot. In fact, it's been raining all day, but yeah, as you can see, it's been raining and this tent has been sheltering us from the rain. I feel like tonight might be a rough night compared to, yesterday, because according to my friends, it's gonna be a lot colder with the water around and the condensation, so I should really layer up. So we are quickly going to the washroom in the dark to brush our teeth. I already washed my face at the resort. I know where the washroom is because that's where all the light is. Right there. Oh my god, this rain's getting worse. Also, Kathy didn't want to brush her teeth tonight, but honestly, none of us had the energy to argue. We just wanted to get ready for bed as quickly as possible.
Get in! Accept the deep. Oh, you have your light out here.
I put it on top in the meantime.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so this is my bag. I'm going to switch socks to the warmer one. Is that what it's for? What is this?
That's the dry bag.
Oh,
So this stuff.
useful. Indeed.
I'm full of useful items.
Can you inflate the pillow more?
Yeah, everything got a little bit cold in our bed.
That's why.
Yeah, so then the air. I always do it this much. I never
Okay.
overinflate because then it's really, really uncomfortable.
Hair. Night in the cold, yeah.
It's not that cold yet, though. Is it cold to you yet?
I feel a bit better.
Is it cold? Oh, are you cold from earlier today?
Yeah.
When you were.
My hair was wet when I ran and
See, I
stuff.
told you not to do that.
What? Do what?
Like, let yourself get too cold.
Yeah, so when I got to the car, I quickly layered up.
Yeah.
I was getting better because I think you guys had the heater on, right?
Yeah.
But it was like really, really cold. I was shaking so
Give
much.
you the emergency blanket.
Can you keep it on?
No, I'm just. Are you ready for bed?
Yeah. Gotcha. Good night.